Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed our salutation from last week. This week, we're going to work on our sun salutation B. So, find yourself into a seated position so that we can just relax the body, relax the neck, and then we will start our sun salutation B. So just placing the hands on the floor, lengthening through the spine and the front body, relaxing the shoulders up, back, and down, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And just start to slowly breathe into the body. And breathing in through the nose and out through your nose. And you can even place one hand on the belly and one hand on your heart so that you can feel the breath as it enters into the body. And on the exhale breath, feeling that same breath carrying out all the stuff that we no longer need to carry within us. And just let it out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more full round of breath here. Releasing the hands down to the floor. Just gently lifting the hands up off the floor. Taking the right ear on the exhale breath, drawing it to the shoulder on the right side. And take 2 full rounds of breath here. On your next inhale breath, reaching the right arm up and over, the fingers extending beyond the ear if you can, and just resting the hand on the top of the head, drawing it a little bit closer to the earth. Breath, bringing that arm back down. The next exhale breath, drawing the left ear down towards the left shoulder for 2 full rounds of breath. Just relaxing the head. Let gravity take over here. No holding of tension, stress. Relaxing. Feel like you're floating, like if you're levitating right here. On the next inhale breath, the arm reaches up and over. And just rest that arm on top of the head. Maybe 5% more further than you already were. Feeling a nice stretch through the thoracic spine here, the upper trapezius, the neck. And then on the next inhale breath, reaching the arm out to the side. Bringing the hands back here, roll the shoulders. On the inhale breath, bring them up, shrug them close to your ears. And then exhale through the mouth and just drop the shoulders down. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up as much as you can. Bring them up, 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 releasing all this stress. And then exhale, drop the shoulders down to the ground. All right, let's get into our sun sal B. So coming to the front of your mat. Okay, so let's start with our sun salutation B. Asanas. Coming to the front of your mat, we're bringing the feet together. So as in sun salutation A, we had the feet separated about 2 fists apart. For this sun salutation, we'll keep the feet together, and the first pose that we come into is chair pose. So starting in Tadasana, root through the floor. We ground through all four corners of the feet, giving us stability, lengthening through the spine. The torso is lifted, the chest is up, the chin is parallel to the floor, and our hands are facing. Imagine if you were just like looking out into the ocean and the sun was rising, and you're just standing there, just taking in all this warmth as the sun comes up. Just closing your eyes and feeling it. Breathing here. One more full round of breath. On your next inhale breath, bend the knees and bring the arms up and out in front. As if you're sitting into a chair behind you. So if there was a chair here, the first thing that you would do is you would stick your butt all the way back. And as you're gonna like fall into that chair, you're gonna hold yourself here. The knees should be behind the toes. So if you gaze down from your chair pose position, you should be able to see the tips of your toes. Keep the chest lifted, staying active in the pose here. Now this can be very challenging to stay in this pose. You have 2 more full breaths. We're just going to go through each step and then we'll flow through the pose, the asana itself. On your next exhale breath, plant the hands on the floor. Fingertips, your hips are stacked over your ankles. If you need to here, bend the knees as much as you need to. Shift the weight forward. Maybe plant the hands on the floor. And just relax the head. Coming into Uttanasana. 2 full breaths here. On your next inhale breath, rising up, flattening out the back, lengthening through the neck. The hands come to the shins, drawing the shoulder blades back and pinching them together as if you have a pencil between your back. And you don't want to drop that pencil. 2 more full breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the lips sealed. On your next exhale breath, plant the hands on the floor. Step it back, coming into a plank. Open the hands wide, keeping the wrist creases, the front of your wrists, parallel to the front of your mat. So if you feel like your wrists are turned out, take notice of where the wrist creases are and keep them parallel to the front of your mat. And just make any adjustments that you need. If you need to, as an option, drop your knees to the floor and just stay right here. Your gaze is right out in front of your fingertips. 1 more full breath here. On your next exhale breath, bend the elbows straight back towards the back of your mat, coming all the way down to the floor. Untuck the toes, keeping the hands activated into the floor. Elbows are straight back along the side of the rib cage. One more full breath. On your next inhale breath, we'll come into half cobra. So lifting the chest, just bend the elbows and press into the floor. Lifting the chest, taking your gaze towards the front of the room. Pressing into the floor, pressing into the top of your feet. 2 more breaths. Tuck the toes under. On your next exhale breath, lift up for downward facing dog. This is an upside down V shape, so you should feel a V from here to here, upside down. The hands are planted into the floor, the neck is relax. Just shake the head here, yes and no. Bend your knees as much as you need to have the hands planted on the floor, or lengthen through the hamstrings, straighten the legs. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale breath, you'll lift the right leg up and back. On your next exhale breath, shift the weight forward and step that foot through, holding here. You're in a low runner's lunge. Just holding for 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale breath, bring the back heel down to the ground. Keep the front knee bent. The arms extend to the front of the room and the back of the room. The chest and torso are lifted. The shoulders are stacked over the hips. And very important is you make sure you don't want to keep the knee bent in. So just an important note here is this front knee tends to rotate in. So if you take your right hand and draw it to the inside of that right front leg and draw the knee out so that it's in line with the foot, facing the front of the mat. The torso is not rotated forward. We want that rotated towards the side wall as you take the gaze over the middle finger of the front hand. On your next exhale breath, rotate the hands all the way down, spin the back heel up, coming into that low runner's lunge, and step it back into a plank. Drop the knees if you need to, untuck the toes from the floor so that the tops of the feet are pressed into the floor. This is your plank position. Now we're coming into our Chaturanga Dandasana, which is our 3-part flow. From here, we exhale down, down, down. As we shift the weight forward, you can come all the way down to your belly if you want, or you can just stay here at the bottom. On your next inhale breath, we lift and press the floor away. The chest comes through the shoulders and take your gaze forward. On your next inhale breath, tuck the toes under. Exhale, reach it back, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Relax the neck. Just shake it out for yes or no. You have 4 full breaths here. 3. Spread those fingers wide. The wrist creases towards the front of your mat, parallel. 1 final breath. On your next inhale breath, lifting the left leg up and back towards the ceiling. Shifting the weight forward on the exhale. Step it through, coming into low lunge. Holding here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Spin that back heel down, lifting up, opening the arms out towards the front and back walls. Hips are squared off to the side of your mat. Bending into that front knee, ensuring that the front knee is pressed out and in line with the front foot. Stacking the shoulders over the hips, trying not to lean forward into the pose. Shifting the hips back and ribs over the hips. Exhale breath, rotate those hands down to the floor. Step it back for a plank. Go through your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale breath, your up dog. Maybe even lifting the back legs off the floor, pressing into the tops of your feet. Exhale breath, downward facing dog. Inhale here, bend the knees. Exhale, hop, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. On your inhale breath, rising all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Now we're going to just go through this flow a little bit quicker. So just follow along, and in due time you'll get this too. Inhale breath, coming into a chair pose. Looking down at your feet, knees behind your toes. Exhale breath, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. As you step back, coming into a plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, shifting the weight forward. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, breath, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up high. You shift the weight forward. Step the foot in between the hands. Rotate the back foot down, back heel, as you open out for warrior two. Holding here. Exhale, windmill the arms down to the floor. Coming into a plank, Chaturanga Dandasana, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, breath as you lift. Exhale, stepping through, rotating the back heel down. Windmill the arms up. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Holding here. Exhale, windmill the arms down. Step it back, plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, breath, up dog. Downward facing dog. You have 3 breaths here. Bending the knees. Exhale, hop, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, breath, half lift. Gaze right out at the front of your mat. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, rising up. Hands come to heart center. Tadasana. Inhale, breath. Rising up. Exhale, come down into a chair pose. Hips are sitting back. Arms are lifted. Active pose. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back. Coming into your plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Tops of the feet press into the floor. Bend the elbows. Shift the weight forward. Coming up into up dog. Tuck the toes under. Step it back. Lifting the hips. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up high. Exhale, stepping that foot in between the hands. Rotate the back heel down. Rising up, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. We're all warriors here, nice and strong. Exhale, windmill the arms down, step it back, plank. Coming into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up high. Exhale, step it in between the hands. Rotate the back heel down. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2 here. Pushing that front knee out over the foot. Windmill the arms down. Coming back into a plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Untuck the feet. Coming into your up dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. You have 2 full breaths here. Inhale breath, bend the knees. Hop, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale breath, half lift. Exhale breath, forward fold. Rising all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Tadasana to finish the pose. And that also finishes our asana for Sun Salutation B. If everyone would just find your way down to your mat. Just take a moment here. giving thanks for allowing our bodies to come here today. So just giving thanks to our bodies for allowing us to take this practice today, for allowing us to learn new things. Just shifting the weight forward and bringing the legs around to the front of your mat. And then slowly just coming down to the floor, preparing for Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath here. Start to bring some movement back into the body, the toes, the ankles, the fingers and the wrists. And then bend your knees and roll to one side, coming into a fetal position. Pressing the top hand into the floor or just staying right where you're at. There's no need to move from your current position. And bring the hands to heart center. Maybe just understanding why we do these asanas. And in Sun Salutation B, with the breath work and the movement that we do, it helps with the fluidity of our joints. It helps reoxygenate the body. It helps fight against depression, anxiety, sleeplessness. It helps lower our blood pressure. There's so many other benefits to doing yoga and practicing the asanas and breath work. And I hope that you'll continue to enjoy these series with me. Until next time, bringing the thumbs to the third eye, bowing down, giving thanks. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.